Well, listen. Kenny G, Tina Marie.
Yeah.
Close your eyes. Think about their voices. Now think
Yep.
about the person.
Yep.
Something's going on here.
What's
Where they
the
create
hold on, what's my man's name? Bobby Caldwell every
Bobby
year.
Caldwell.
Yeah, Twitter realizes he is not a black man singing "Do for Love."
So like, what are like? Where are we getting? Where are they creating these advanced special spicy whites at?
I'll do you one better.
Here we go.
And I told you, I think I told you this. I think you were like one of the first people I sent a text message to when I saw this. So I was at work one day and I ran across a white Q.
Excuse me.
I didn't text you. I could have swore I texted you.
No. Say that
I
again.
didn't text you. Yeah.
We
So
you said
I,
what?
I was at work and there was this white man who had an Omega Sci-Fi lanyard coming out of his pocket. So my coworker, this is when I was still new. I was like, "Does he know what that means?" And she said, "Yeah, because he is a Q." And he
Mm.
crossed at an HBCU. And I said, "You got to be
So
a
you're telling
special."
me. So you're telling me they shame us for dating white women, but a white Q is acceptable.
He has to be the smoothest human being on the earth.
Is
And
it
that
Paul
was his.
Wall?
It was not Paul Wall. It might be related to Paul Wall. They're the same build, but the way he moved and carried himself, I was like, yeah, I get it. He
Let
didn't
me
even
ask
have to
you
say
something.
nothing to me.
Let me ask you something because it's completely unrelated, but somewhat related.
Yep.
Let's say you run a little basketball, a little pickup, a
Yep.
little hoop. Ah, Bader, Kobe. Nah, I mean, you and your man, like your man, your man's on your team start getting into it with somebody, right? So you
Right.
see the escalation beginning to happen as you go over there to kind of start breaking it up. Somebody else who maybe had a problem with you for some previous comments or previous actions that you may have done. They may have grabbed you by the neck and kind of put you in the rear naked chokehold.
Yeah.
What's your response?
Couple of different things, right? If
Mm.
the hammer is in the car, it might be time to be Bob the Builder because you just gonna choke me. But
Wait, what? What?
you just not gonna.
Wait, wait, th- wait, what? What is that? What is this old head talk that you talking about?
You know, they used to call it a hammer, and I think now y'all call it a tool. A blicky is what y'all call it. I heard.
Yo, you were not born in Jim Crow times. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 123 of
But can I
Speak
answer
On.
the question though?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So I wouldn't shoot anybody for that. But yeah, we got to fight. Like I gotta. You just can't choke me, and I'm gonna be like, oh no, no, man. Nah, dog.
Man, Rudy was getting choked. You know what he was saying? All right.
What if what is that? Yeah, dog. Like
Draymond was like, I remember that you cussed the mother.
I
That's what he was
think
trying
the
to say.
most telling thing out of all that was Carl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. They did nothing. Like
You
you
know what
have
they
to
say
do
about
something.
you know
Anthony
what they say
Edwards,
about
you
fights
get
in
a
the NBA.
pass because you're a superstar. But Carl,
You know what they say about fights in the NBA.
you gotta at least act like you know Jordan Clarkson always square up like he about to fight, but we know he not. You at least got to do that. Like they were just looking like, damn, that's crazy. He choking
Now,
Rudy out.
I texted you the other day and I said, you better, speaking of the Warriors, you better be ready to defend your man, Jordan Poole, as vehemently as you did when we found out he had got punched.
I still stick by what I said. That was a sucker punch, and he
No,
sucker
no, no, no,
choked
no. Brother,
Rudy.
Brother, have you watched the DC version of Jordan Poole? I think
Listen,
I'm starting to figure it out.
just because he is not good
Bro,
at
have you seen the
basketball,
clips of him in the huddle basically blow? Come on.
hilarious,
Have you seen him on the
H-
court doing this bullshit? Brother, he
hilarious.
put up a step back turnaround three, looked away from the basket, and
Miss.
it didn't even come close to going down. Defend this. You
Did you
don't see
see?
how he maybe couldn't have got punched in his fucking mouth talking some bullshit at practice?
Did you see the one where he's letting the ball roll and the game clock is winding down, but the shot clock doesn't start because he started and he's confused. Like he looks legit confused. Like why is the clock running? No, 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 sir. That's the shot clock. That was hilarious. Listen, I'm not saying Jordan Poole did or did not deserve to be punched in the face. I'm saying that was a sucker punch.
That's not a sucker punch. Defend your grill. What does the ref say?
You
Protect
don't
yourself
you
at all
don't you
times.
don't you don't
You got to
expect
know
to
if you
protect your
if
grill at work.
well, hey, if you smart, you got to be ready. If you talking a little bit aggressively to someone, you got to be ready to stand in a position that might be able on your defense. That way you
Because
can generate power off your pivot foot.
here's the thing. I am sure Draymond has squared up with multiple people on the Warriors multiple times throughout the year, and it
Why are
never
we putting that
escalated to
narrative? Why are we
violence.
putting? Listen, we got to stop putting this narrative out there like Draymond's just this thug.
He is not a thug. He just enjoys confrontation.
No,
There are two
maybe he
totally
just
different
don't be
things.
backing away from confrontation.
Yeah, he enjoys conflict. He
There's the
thrives in conflict.
there's a big difference. There's a big
Okay, he doesn't run away from
that's hate.
conflict. He is more likely to square up with you than walk away from you. How about that? So if you're Jordan, you've probably seen him square up with everyone but Steph, and it never turned to violence until it's you, and
Yeah,
then it's
because
violence.
you was popping that shit. So that's what
I'm
you
sure
get.
people have said worse to Draymond over the course
Well,
of the years.
hey, it was
Like you
that
trying to tell
day.
me Zaza Pachulia won't out here cursing Draymond out and calling him an N word in his foreign language?
Yo, what's up with you? What, yo? No. We gotta have a talk. What's up with you, yo? Why you out? You putting some crazy things on people's jacket. You
I'm just
putting
saying,
thug on
Zaza.
Draymond. You putting racism on Zaza Pachulia. My brother, may I remind you, you got Malcolm Muhammad and the European Sham God as your two go-to. So it's not like your team is just unshameable or everything's riding
Hey,
high and dry. There's some shit going on over there too, my brother.
you know what'll never happen in Dallas?
What?
No one punching Luca in the face. I
You
promise you
never
that.
know that.
Luca, I feel like
Kyrie
Luca
talked
would fight
that.
back.
Kyrie talked
Nah.
that. Let me listen. Kyrie
Nah,
talked
go
that.
ahead and put that narrative out there. Go ahead. I know what you're about to say. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode Speak on it 123. Title of this one is "We Care a Lot." You are joined this Tuesday evening, of course, by myself, Los Demix. That's LOSDEEMIX on all socials: Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. I was recently looking into my Twitch setup for the DJ return to Twitch. So who knows what that's gonna look like. But of course, I'm always joined by the smoothest bald head on the East Coast. We have my brother, my man, Mr. Danny Ocean. How we doing, brother?
Great. I actually shaved today, so my head is the smoothest that it'll be for the week, probably. Well, until Thursday. Was that a pause moment? It felt like a pause. Like it felt borderline pause, but I didn't want to
Nah,
do a
fuck what
preemptive
I'm talking
pause.
about because you got to shave your head. Listen, let's start in the NFL because I know you are ready to jump right into it after last night, but we're going to actually start last Thursday night in Baltimore. So we had another clash of the AFC North, which was really the theme of this entire weekend, really. But we had the Cincinnati Bengals in Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens won a pretty gritty game, but in this game, we saw early that Joe Burrow got knocked out with a season-ending wrist injury. We saw Jake Browning kind of take over. It didn't really matter. The Ravens kind of scored early, went up, and kind of had firm control of the game for most of it. But Danny, I'll start with you. Where do the Bengals go from here with Jake Browning at the helm?
Straight to the draft.
Straight
It's
to
all
the
right.
grave.
Pack it up. AFC North. The AFC North is too competitive. Um, the Steelers can get away with having subpar quarterback play because they have an elite defense. The Bengals do not have that. I think we can pack the Bengals up. They were already behind the eight ball. It's not like they got off to a hot start and there's some sort of cushion. No, the Bengals had to go on like a real serious run if they were even thinking about contending for a Super Bowl. And they were in the midst of that run, right? Like they had put together, so they beat the 49ers. Like they had some good games, but like now it's like, what do you do?
So you're telling me you have no faith in Jake Browning?
Zero.
But why though? What has he not done to win your confidence? Did you not see those some of those throws? Did you not see that touchdown throw? Let me tell you something. Bengals fans, listen to me. Have faith. Browning is here. Have faith.
So
Browning could lead us to the next stage, the promised land. Browning could be where we need to, you know what I mean? Maybe
we both know
Joe
you
can
lying
coach
right
him up
now.
over the week. Zach Taylor can put together an offensive game plan. You still have weapons on the outside. You still have a capable running game. We might need you to make 3 to 4 really tough throws. Other than that, can you be a game manager? Our defense is good enough. We can rush the passer. I don't think Cincinnati is just out of it. I think it just make it a little bit more tough to get there.
The Bengals are currently 5-5, and they're the 11th seed in the AFC. They're closer to the bottom than they are the top. That was a tall order for Joe Burrow.
But look at their upcoming schedule. Tell me
Yeah,
their
let's look
upcoming
at it.
schedule.
All right, so they have the Steelers, the Jags, the Colts, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Chiefs, the Browns. The only gimme, and that's using the word very loosely, is the Colts. Every other team on their schedule is playing great football right now,
Who says the Colts
or
is a
are in the
gimme?
playoffs.
The Colts is a tough game. Let me tell
That's,
you
as I
something.
said, I use that word very loosely. I didn't mean gimme like they're going to definitely win. Like that's going to be a hard fought game.
Yeah, and all the I mean, a lot of their games are in prime time. It's just going to be tough. It's tough because they won 4 straight. Then you just lose your QB in a matter of just weeks, and how the season changes, I guess.
It's
It's
crazy.
just it's just crazy how it's a week to week league. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you think your team is on the way this week, you better keep praying because next week it's not promised.
It could be over.
Could be over. With that, do you think the Ravens are now that they're the number 1 seed? Do you think they're the new class of the AFC?
I do think they're the class of the AFC, but I still, and this is going to be crazy because the Browns are in a similar situation as the Bengals, except the Browns have the best defense in the league. So they don't need their backup QB
Technically,
who is
but I would say the Browns have been winning like this all year, despite the quarter.
correct.
Yeah,
Correct. Like Deshaun had that one half against the Ravens, 14 of 14. Granted, they weren't long passes. There was a lot of short stuff, a lot of yak, but still 14 of 14. Like the Browns can win ugly and they know how to win ugly. And I don't know if the Bengals can. So the Browns are just the Bengals, but with a great defense. I think the Browns are a threat to the Ravens. And when we talk about the Ravens, their 3 losses, it's a lot of self-inflicted stuff, right? Like if you're a Ravens fan and
some
you look like,
BS.
yeah, like you like, man, we really made some really stupid decisions. And if it weren't for those super stupid decisions,
Would have won
people
the
would talk.
game.
Yeah, people will be talking about the Ravens the same way they talk about the Eagles.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the Ravens are the class of the AFC if they just don't shoot themselves in the foot.
Let me tell you something. I, after this week, had to look back and look and re-listen to some of the game tape, and I went back to our very last preseason review
Uh-huh.
of the divisions. And do you remember what my Super Bowl pick was?
I know you had the Raven. No, you had the Jags because the Jags were your
No,
one seed.
no. I did have the Ravens.
You did, but the Jags were your one seed. So
Yeah, it
okay,
was Ravens Cowboys Super Bowl.
that's right.
Let me tell you all, I'm here to come in and double down that
So
I I double down and really stand by my picks in both the AFC and the NFC. I think the Ravens have, I think similarly to you, the Ravens really their biggest comp is probably the Browns because they match up just physically with them. They can play physical with them for 60 minutes. We will see about what they could potentially do against the Chiefs. I think their defense may wear down the Chiefs for a little bit, but we've also seen Mahomes have a lot of success against Lamar.
Yep.
Um, and I would also say my pick for the number one seed in Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville can still potentially present some trouble for the Ravens. But again, I still see. I think I see the Ravens holding on to the one seed. I see the Ravens representing the AFC in the Super Bowl.
It would be cool to see how Patrick Mahomes perform in the playoffs on the road because he's never played a road playoff game outside of the Super Bowl. So I would love to see a Chiefs Ravens AFC Championship in Baltimore. Like, how does Patrick act when he's not at home in the playoffs? Not to say that he's going to choke or anything. We've just never seen it.
Act bad, 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 act bad. That's what he get. That's what he about to do.
Is that a song? I've never heard of that song. Is that a young people
Yo,
reference
why
that I
are
don't
you
get?
so old?
I'm sorry.
You act so old.
I've never heard of that song. Who sings that song?
That's Diddy.
Oh, I don't listen to it. Boy,
What you talking about? That case was dismissed. You didn't. You don't. You don't really see what was going on there,
that man settled so fast. I have never seen someone settle a
brother.
lawsuit in 20.
It makes you it makes you wonder though. Makes you wonder. Was this a real lawsuit or was this a
Yes. Let me tell you
no?
something.
No, it
You
was
don't.
not.
You don't. No one
No, it
settles
was
that quick,
not.
my brother.
That was a cash grab.
Okay. The Rolling Stone says otherwise.
Okay, Papa was
Elite,
a Rolling Stone. Wherever he
elite
laid,
reporting.
Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he laid it hat was his home. Rolling Stone don't move the needle for me.
Okay.
I've seen they list on hip hop. Think I'm trusting that credibility?
That is fair when it comes to music taste, but in regards to journalism, Rolling Stone's pretty solid.
Yeah. So was Shorty, who was a sideline reporter reporting on games, and we found out all that shit was bullshit. She
Hilarious.
she was coming out just lying, just lying.
Let this be a lesson to the people. Don't dry snitch on yourself.
Never do that.
Never.
Listen, let's get to it. Last night we had a rematch of our Super Bowl from January. Philadelphia traveled to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs in prime time Monday night, whether you're watching it with Joe and Troy or like me watching it with the Manning cast. You knew it was going to be a gritty, grinded out game. Both teams come in with pretty good offenses and really, really good defenses. Ultimately, it came down to the fourth quarter. Eagles were able to score probably like 6 or 7 minutes left in the fourth, go up 21-17, and were able to hold on from there. Danny, this is an all-around team win.
Yep.
As our resident Eagles fan, what does this just solid team win mean or tell you, I should say, about the Philadelphia Eagles?
I think it's a story that's been going on all year is the resiliency of this team and this team's ability to make adjustments at halftime. Sean Desai's defense in the first half was getting cooked, right? Pacheco, the Chiefs ran for over 100 yards. They scored 17. I thought they were cooked, like 17-7. My father-in-law is an Eagles fan. He texted me. He was like, they give one drive in the third, and if it's some ass, I'm going to bed. And I was like, dog, I might go to bed too. And then the Eagles come out 3 and out, give the ball to Mahomes, and I'm like, here we go. But the Eagles defense, the Chiefs were held scoreless in the second half. Sean Desai put an extra defender in the box to stop the run and said, hey, we're going to double Travis. And if Marquez Valdez-Scantling beats us or any of these other no-name guys, then we'll just live with it. And it worked. I think I know people are going to talk about the drop by MVS, but I think the 2 red zone turnovers for the Chiefs hurt them the most. Like Travis Kelce fumbled, Mahomes threw a pick to Kevin Byard. I think that was more crucial than the MVS drop because if the Chiefs had converted there, MVS wouldn't be in that position to begin with because they probably would have been up 31-7 or at the very least 24-7. And that none of that even matters. But they didn't do that. They turned the ball over. As an Eagles fan, it's confidence that you can play your worst football and you can still find a way to win in the most hostile environment in the NFL that is not the Cowboy Stadium. Like that, for me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Jalen Hurts is, I think he's 8-0 down 10. Jalen Hurts, when trailing, is 75% completion percentage. He has over 1,000 yards. Like that's when he turns it on, is when he's down. Hey, man, I know we talk about Mahomes and his comeback ability, but oh, buddy, Jalen got it in him. Pause. That was a pause.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's wild. First off,
That's a
that
pause.
that's wild. Second off, what this told me is that the NFC, for as a conference, we are cooked. We are cooked. Whoever come out of the NFC, listen,
You think so?
you're either gonna see the boogeyman and Mahomie, or you gonna see Lamar. But I don't think anybody from the AFC. I think the AFC is looking at the NFC and saying, "Y'all are sweet as hell over
You
there."
think so? That's what you
Yeah,
got from that game last night?
yeah. The AFC is where real wars are. It will be where the
I don't
best
know about
playoff
all that.
it will be where the best playoff games will be, and it will be where the best team that will probably win the Super Bowl will come from. I think the NFC's cooked. If I'm sorry,
So what
the
makes
Eagles
you
will
think
probably
that?
have the best record in the league because the NFC is just a bunch of teams who
No,
are
we're not
either
doing that
who
because the Eagles have the
the
hardest
NFC,
schedule
the
in the
NF, the
league. Nope.
NFC is the
Nope.
Eagles, the Cowboys, the Niners, the Lions, and a bunch of teams who are just pissing on themselves.
Nope. Eagles have the hardest schedule in the league. I
Give
don't
me
want to
your
hear that
top
shit
three
this year.
quarterbacks in the NFC: Jalen, Dak, Jared Goff,
I don't want to hear
Kirk
it. The Eagles
Cousins.
have the hardest schedule in the league. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't
Who
want to
y'all
hear it.
playing? Who y'all
This
playing?
is so everyone's talking about this gauntlet. It was Dallas, it's Kansas City, it's the Bills Sunday, the 49ers the week after that, Dallas and Seattle. When they have a winning record through this, I don't want to hear this shit. Whether the NFC is weak. No. Eagles have the
Nothing
hardest.
you saying is changing my
All
argument.
right.
Listen,
It's not like they get to play the Bears and the Vikings
I
and the
am objectively
Packers.
saying they are the best team in a bad conference.
To me, I don't think you're giving enough weight to walking into Arrowhead on prime time, being down 10
I'm not
and
disagreeing there.
scoring
That was a
14
good
unanswered.
that was a good team, solid win. It doesn't take away from the fact that the NFC is it's not I think the AFC will come out as a sharper team in the Super Bowl and bring out the team that will come out and win. That doesn't discredit anything that's coming out of Philadelphia. I'm saying y'all will probably have the best record because y'all are in the worst conference. There are real wars going on in the AFC.
Okay. Show me some of those wars. I know the AFC North is a war.
Nah, look. I mean, look at the
Let,
quarterbacks in. Look at the
let, let,
teams in this
let's
AFC.
let's look at the Chiefs schedule and tell me where the war is. Show me where the war is in this Chiefs schedule. Let's start from the beginning. That was preseason. The Lions, they lost. The Jags, they played the Bears, the Jets, the Vikings, the Broncos. Chargers have Jay
What are you talking about?
Herbo.
The same Jets team that beat y'all?
Yep, I am.
Now they
We're,
soft.
we're talking about the Broncos, the Dolphins. The Eagles beat the Dolphins. They
Broncos
just
not a bad
lost.
team. We've clearly seen that they are a team that have turned it
Yeah,
around.
but the Chiefs called them when the when the Broncos were down. They
Then
haven't
they lost
seen
the
these
second time.
Broncos.
When they lost the second
Yeah,
time,
yeah, they lost the second time. And so
okay
here's
then.
who they have left. They have the Raiders.
Miami, no ho.
The,
Vegas
huh?
is playing inspired football. Buffalo ain't no ho. Bills a tough game, no matter who you are.
Don't
Vegas ain't
don't
no
don't
ho again. They got
don't
to
gloss
play.
over the Packers.
Nah, they bad. They
Show me the war. Show me the game that you're like that's gonna be a war.
Vegas, Buffalo, New
Nope.
England, Cincinnati,
No.
Chargers again. Come on.
No. The Bengals have a backup quarterback. That ain't gonna be no war.
It's gonna be a good game. Listen, when you
That
start
ain't gonna
thinking
come
about
on. Now
when you start,
that's CAP cap.
thank you. See, me and Kyle
Kyle,
see it.
where's the war at? All
There are
right.
more complete teams in the AFC than there is in the NFC. You cannot sit here and look at the totality of the AFC and the totality in the NFC and tell me that
I'm
the
not saying.
NFC has more complete teams. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I
Oh,
say I look
Kyle
at
was
the
saying.
Eagles and the NFC, and I say you have the Eagles, you have the Cowboys, you have the Lions, you have who is this? You have the Niners, and you have a bunch of teams who's pissing down their legs. It's going to come down to those 4 teams divisional week. Cut that in half. It'll come down to the last 2 teams for the conference championship. I'm saying it'll be Eagles versus Cowboys, and I think the Cowboys are going to figure something out.
Okay.
And I think that the Ravens are going to run a very much tougher gauntlet, facing either a combination of who knows, a Tua, a Mahomes, a Josh Allen.
Okay.
I mean,
I hear
there's more
you.
complete. There's more complete teams in the AFC. Kyle, what's good? Yes, the Green Bay Packers are the Green Bay Badgers, and we did just beat the Chargers. But dear God,
Can I complain about one thing with the Eagles? My only complaint about this team. I have a couple of complaints, but this is the biggest. Their lack of situational awareness is going to cost them a game. I don't know when, but their lack of situational awareness is going to cost them a game.
Hopefully, it's not a game like the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like Kenny Gainwell last night, running out of bounds at the end of the second half. That 3 points could have meant something if MVS makes that catch, because now you're going down for a game tying field goal instead of a game winning field goal. Like stuff like that. Can't do it. Huh?
Speaking of the Chiefs and speaking of MVS, is it time that we discuss why the Chiefs refused to go out and get a wide receiver one? They had one, they traded him away.
Yep,
Maybe they shouldn't have done that.
No, everyone kept telling me how great Patrick Mahomes is, and he is. Like, let's not get it twisted. He the GOAT. He's the best ever to play the position. But his greatness can only carry you so far.
Do you think that the Chiefs sometimes forget that Travis Kelce is 35 years old?
I do. I think they very much so. And Travis yesterday, at some point during the day, kind of mentioned, I mean, both Kelce brothers have openly talked about, retirement is closer than people want to say. So I think if you're the Chiefs, what you do this offseason, if you can find a way, and my homeboy is a Chiefs fan, he was like, if you find a way to flip Travis Kelce to get you closer to getting Marvin Harrison Jr., or you find a way to get Devontae Adams. Nah, man. Or you find a way to get Devontae Adams.
But you're not getting them from a division rival. Let's be realistic.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like you got to go find a number one, and I don't know where you go find a number one.
Mike Evans, you go out and maybe sign Mike
Evans.
You
might get Mike Evans as a free agent, but he's old too. Mike Evans is 32.
See if you can trade for Chris Godwin. Maybe see if Tampa Bay could be willing to enter the rebuild stage. Maybe they're looking to deal Chris Godwin. Maybe you look at someone like a George Pickens up in Pittsburgh and seeing if maybe you can get a couple maybe with a couple picks get that.
Do you think Jordan Pickens has that kind of ability? Like, do you think he has the potential to be?
He's never played with someone like Patrick Mahomes
in the same stratosphere as like a Garrett Wilson.
He's never played with Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, that's true.
Maybe, well, I doubt that won't happen. I was going to say maybe you get a disgruntled Stephon Diggs, but I doubt that will happen.
Yeah, Buffalo not trade T. Higgins. Yes.
Maybe you sign T. Higgins in the offseason.
But where you going to get this money from?
You'll find a way. You'll find a way to.
Howard Roseman finds a way.
You'll find a way to clear up some money. That way, you'll be able to pay Frank or Chris Jones again. You go out, get some money. You pay either like a T. Higgins or Mike Evans type. You draft nothing but pass catchers and offensive linemen and defensive players. Really, you just go out and draft a bunch of receivers and running backs and skill position players, and you try to find ways to get more creativity on offense, because Sky Moore and MVS, they're not doing it. They invested a lot of money into Sky Moore and MVS and guys, but how many more years do you have of Patrick's prime that you can waste doing this?
Can you trust the Chiefs front office to drive a competent receiver, because they ain't done it yet?
Yes, they drafted Tyreek Hill originally.
Yeah, that's because he fell because he had off the field issues. Like that's it. That's the only one you got.
Well,
All these other guys you've drafted haven't amounted to much. So you just gonna hope you fall into another Tyreek Hill?
yep.
Good luck.
Speaking of luck, I think a lot of people in the AFC are going to need it, Danny. Listen, as we talk about wars and conferences, listen to this. The AFC, we have the Ravens at 8-3. Bunch of teams in there at 7-3. Jags, Chiefs, Dolphins, Browns, Texans, Steelers. Bills at 5-5. No, Texans and Steelers are at 6-4. Excuse me. Bills are at 6-5. Broncos, Colts, Bengals are at 5-5. Give me a few of those teams that you are for sure going to fall out of the race, and where maybe do you see the seeding in the playoff picture? If you had it, like, give me your Super Wildcard Weekend matchups, divisional round, and AFC Championship
All right, let me pull
matchups.
up the AFC standings real quick so I make sure that
Because I
everyone's
like
on.
I like I like where we were going in our chat here, and I do think um
Let me see.
I do think there's a little bit more credence into this.
So right now it's top 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right
No,
now
it's
Bills is top what?
top 7.
Top 7. My bad. So right now the last team in are the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6-4. I think they fall out. Kenny Pickett. I mean, Matt Canada's gone. I think the Steelers fall out. That like there's only quarterbacks at the end of the day win. So flip flop Pittsburgh and Buffalo. I think Buffalo's the last team in. Pittsburgh is the last team out. I think that's it. I know the Broncos are playing great right now, but they were in such a deep hole. It's really hard to dig out of the start they had and with the schedule they have. So they have the Browns, the Texans, the Chargers, the Lions, the Patriots, the Chargers, and then the Raiders.
Wait,
Those are
say that lineup for the Broncos again.
so the Broncos have the Browns, then they're the Texans, the Chargers, and these are on the road. They have 3 road games. Listen to these road games: at Houston, at the Chargers, at the Lions. That is,
Chargers game will be a home game for them. Lions game will be a true road game. So will the Texans.
and the Texans will too. I mean, the Texans are good. The Texans hold the 5 seed right now, and they're in out of the conferences. I mean, not the divisions. Like the AFC South is weaker than the AFC West. So Houston may have a couple of games that may be a little bit easier compared to the Broncos.
Hey, we're giving
But then
Teddy.
again,
It's a not for long. It's a not for long league. I wouldn't be so quick to say that Houston has the easier schedule. In your version of the playoffs, the Ravens would get the bye. Kansas City would play Buffalo first round. Jacksonville would play
yep,
Houston in a divisional matchup, and the Dolphins and the
and the
Browns, which would be
Browns.
very, very interesting because you would have the league's best offense versus the league's best defense. You would have division
Yes,
foes, so you would basically have the battle of generational. I mean, the last 2 good generational QBs going at it potentially, and then Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City Super Wild Card Weekend. Danny,
that's what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
So
Go ahead.
I just want to talk Houston schedule in comparison. So Houston, they have the Jags at home, and the Broncos at home, the Jets, the Titans, the Browns, the Titans, the Colts. Like you can see how it might be a little easier for the Texans compared to
There's some
those.
winnable games in there, particularly with the Texans. I think they can maybe steal a game versus the Jags. If I think I heard the Jags twice in there. No,
No, you heard the Titans twice. They played the
oh, okay.
Titans twice.
So I could definitely see them winning both games versus the Titans. Maybe they steal a
Yep.
game versus the Jags.
All you have to do if you're Houston, beat the Jets, beat the Titans twice, and you beat the Colts. That should do it.
Everyone says the Jets are such an easy win, but that's a tough win. Like they play a physical brand of
They
football.
do. But if you play the Jets and you're the Eagle, if you're the Texans, you just got to score 17. That's it. You score 17, then you gonna win. As long as you don't turn the ball over. Like you score
17 might
17, you're
not
gonna
do it,
win.
brother. You might need at least 21 to 28.
I mean, unless Mr. Boyle is him, he's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns in his entire career in going back to high school. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But the Jets have done nothing offensively to make me believe that they can score over 12
I'm
points.
glad that you brought him up. Are we? Have we? Is Zach Wilson? Is he really at rock bottom right now?
Yeah. I mean, is he though? This is his is this his second or third time being benched in the last calendar year? It's like
Second,
his second or third
but
time.
either way, is it not crazy? Listen. Last week, I had to come at Rojo with the ether bars.
Yes, which was
This
great.
year, this year, I mean this year, this week, I want to come with something else as I deliver this message. Um,
Okay. Are you about to play Ether?
hold on.
It's okay. But while you do that, is this Monday Night Raw?
Zach Wilson, brother, let me tell you something. Sometimes good things come to an end. In yours, in New York City with the bright lights, the big letters and all the milfs in the world that you just can't get enough of.
MILFs.
Zach Wilson, brother, let me tell you something. Your time in New York was filled with mediocrity. It was filled with hard knocks. It was filled with a lot of boos, a lot of interceptions, pick sixes, fumbles, missed reads, open opportunities, missed opportunities. And now, as the Jets look at you and they look at your situation, all they can say is, nah, goodbye. They said that you could no longer waste the primes of Quinn Williams. You can no longer waste the prime of Garrett Wilson. Zach Wilson, nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Take your ass somewhere outside the Jets facility. If you've seen the Jamal Adams clip from Hard Knocks trying to get into the building, Zach Wilson, I'm here to let you know yours will be 10 times worse. They have your shit on the front lawn and they might be sending dogs out there to piss on it.
Oh, not dogs. Whoa. I'll
What
say
we
this.
seeing you, Zach Wilson? Getting benched for Tim Boyle. That's like getting cheated on by. That's like a girl cheating on you with a white man.
A white Q.
Yeah, white Q. Yo, ladies, and we gonna listen. A white Q.
Are you, this I feel like we're this close to going off the rails, and I kind of want to.
A
You want
white
to
Q.
you want
Let
to
me
say
tell you something.
something.
Nah. I'm gonna keep it. I'm a listen. I've been working on peace and tranquility, and I've been working on maybe not having to. My words be stinging, and sometimes
Yes,
I'm
they
just
do.
learning. Sometimes I'm learning that I might just need to just not say anything because I don't want to, offend the people. But Zach
Sweet.
Wilson, we will be seeing you. Danny, any
How
closing words for Zach Wilson?
how angry do you think that team is that this organization wasted this year? Because you could have done something. Like, say you go do something and it doesn't work. At least you can say, "Hey, we tried to fix the problem."
Well, what were you
And
going to
they
do?
did
Kirk
absolutely.
Cousins' Achilles was going to blow, maybe no matter what.
I'm just saying, even if you sign Carson Wentz, right, and it doesn't work, and he's the same old Carson Wentz, you as an organization can tell your players, "Hey, we made the best choice possible with the options that we had, right? We were trying to win. We did everything we could to win." I'm not saying signing Carson would have changed anything. I'm saying it's the illusion that you're trying to win. instead of just sticking by Zach Wilson, who you
Who are
know
you
is
trying to
garbage.
win? How about this? Yes, he's the quarterback. Yes, we can. If he continues to play this way, we can find somebody else to play better. But how about you other 52 players, professional athletes, get out here and play? We can't blame
No,
it
that's
all
not
on Zach.
fair.
He can't be the only scapegoat. There's
You can't.
Zach's not out there on the defensive end. He's out there on
The
the
defense
offensive end.
gives
And
up
yes,
17 points a game. That
yes,
is
he's not
elite.
helping play. He is not helping play complimentary football. But hey, he ain't out there when y'all
That's
are getting
crazy.
when the Bills are running all up and down the field on y'all.
That's a
Yes, he ain't
crazy
helping.
take.
He ain't helping with how he is choosing to take care of the football or not taking care of the football. But it ain't all on Zach Wilson.
That's
It's
crazy.
fair. It's fair.
That is a crazy take.
Yeah. Well, call me cuckoo Kachu. Listen. At 8-2, the Detroit Lions are sitting in the NFC. They are the 2 seed behind none other than your Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
But objectively speaking, do you see a path to the 1 seed for the Detroit Lions?
Oh hell yeah, 100%. All it takes is a 2-game slip up for the Eagles because the Lions' schedule is a lot. I think the Lions on paper have the easiest schedule remaining in the league or close to it compared to the
Sounds
Eagles
about
having one of
right
the
when
hardest.
you. It sounds about right when you've had such a last place record for so long.
So yeah, I 100% can see the Lions snatching the 1 seed. I 100%.
So there, the Lions go. They play versus Green Bay on Thanksgiving, of course. Then they're
Yep.
in New Orleans, in Chicago,
Yep.
at home versus the Broncos, in Minneapolis, in Dallas,
Yep.
at home versus the Vikings.
So you get maybe 2-3 losses max.
Well, I see 3 losses potentially because they played the Cowboys and the Vikings.
Yep.
They played Cowboys, Vikings,
And the
Vikings,
Broncos.
Cowboys, Vikings, and then that trip to New Orleans may not be the easiest.
Yeah, but I'm saying from a schedule standpoint, it's a lot easier. And I'm not saying they are going to get the 1 seed, but I definitely see a world where the NFC comes through Detroit, and if that happens, what you were saying earlier about the NFC being cheeks, we can have that conversation. Because let me tell you right now, I don't think Dallas, I don't think Philadelphia, and I don't think San Francisco is afraid to go into Detroit for an NFC Championship game. I know I wouldn't be afraid at all.
So what you're saying is that the conference that the Eagles might be playing in, objectively speaking, might be kind of weak.
I didn't say my argument to what you were saying was it felt like to me like you were trying to discredit the Eagles win like their record because they play in the NFC. But the NFC, like in regards to
No, they're still 9-1. They're 9-1. They're 9-1. I'm saying, but look at the NFC versus look at what Mahomes is going through. Yo, it's real wars going on in the AFC. It's silly putty wars going on in the NFC.
it's a heavyweight.
Come on, big dog. Listen, I was watching the Panthers versus the Cowboys. I was sitting there saying, "Yo, dog,
Disgusting football.
what the fuck
Disgusting
did Carolina
football.
think this shit was going to look like rolling this out in the field?
Hey,
This is some bullshit."
Carolina's got the eyes on Marvin Harrison Jr. That's it. We got our eyes on the prize, baby. Marvin Harrison, come on down.
Then you go up, whatever up to
You about to say DC, New York?
DC, New York.
Oh, you lose to Danny DeVito's nephew? Like what the?
Listen, the New York Giants have 3 wins. 2 of those wins have come from Washington. Are you serious?
Brian Daboll.
The
coach
other
of the
one is
year.
versus
Get outta here.
Arizona. Like, are we serious?
Watch the Eagles lose to them. I can feel it in my spirit.
Listen, the NFC is a joke, and that's okay. That's sometimes this isn't. Tom knew what he was doing when he came over to the NFC. He basically said the AFC maybe there's some killers coming.
Yeah, I mean, he saw Patrick and was like, "Yeah, I don't want to see him every year. I'm good."
Back to the Broncos, though. Do you think Sean Payton has finally righted the ship? Yay or nay?
Yay, but it's a soft yay. I think Sean Payton is doing just enough to get Russell Wilson's trade value up to send him on his way. I don't think Sean likes Russell at all.
He's not his guy.
Yeah, like I don't, which is crazy because you take that job knowing that Russell Wilson has signed that massive contract that starts this
Yeah,
year.
but he's also saying this is going to work out two ways. Either you're going to play well and you're going to get extended, and then we'll continue to play well. Or we'll go out there and you'll look like some BS, and we'll get you out of here before we get me out of here, sucker.
I guess the question is if Russell's gone, like who do you get that's better? Because right now you're not in a position to draft one of those top guys because you've been winning. Like who out there that's better? And if Sean Payton go out there and sign Taysom Hill, I hope someone fight him because that sounds like a Sean Payton move.
I don't know what your beef with Taysom Hill is, but it is hilarious. Kyle, did I call myself a walrus? No, I don't think I did. Danny, did I call myself a walrus?
I know you said call me cuckoo cuckoo, but I thought that was a train. Is that some sort of walrus that we don't know about, Kyle? Because I think he put that when you said I said you're crazy, and you said, "Well, call me cuckoo cuckoo." I don't know if that's a. I thought I took that as a train or a cuckoo bird.
Why are you? So you're thinking about men in trains?
No, all right.
Let's go to college football, ladies and gentlemen. First off, and we got him too, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. Listen, this week in college football, it is rivalry week.
Let's
Danny,
go.
listen. I have our notes here. I'm gonna just name out some rivalries.
Yep.
Let's tell me tell me what you're thinking just based off. We're not even thinking about. I mean, obviously rankings are important, but we're
Yep.
talking about schools and their pride,
Yep.
right? Listen, let's start off with this one: Missouri versus Arkansas.
Missouri's good. Arkansas is not. Really don't care.
Okay, Apple Cup: Wazoo versus Washington. Michael Penix Jr. looking like Heisman finalist.
Sign me up. Wazoo started off real strong this year. They've kind of faded, but it's a rivalry game. You usually find the juice to play at your best at a rivalry game.
Okay.
See what I
Listen,
did
I
there?
like.
You said Apple Cup. I said juice. You didn't catch it. Why do I try?
You shouldn't leave your day job. I'm with you. I like Missouri. I actually like Wazoo to upset Washington. I like a little chaos. So I'm gonna go Wazoo to upset
Okay.
Washington. What about the Civil War? Oregon versus Oregon State.
Sign me up. Bo Nix versus DJ Uyunglele, the two quarterbacks that were supposed to be the chosen ones that had to go find their
They have to go get
themselves
chosen
on a
somewhere else.
different path. Like that's a
Yeah.
cool story. I like that.
Who you like?
Give me Oregon because they have a lot more to play for than Oregon State. Is it
I
at
like
Oregon
Oregon.
State or is it at Oregon?
I'm not sure. I think it's at Oregon State. Either way,
Oh,
I like Oregon. I like where they've been at on offense and defense these last couple of weeks. I think they're gonna cement themselves in the Pac-12 championship and be in a position where it's Washington versus Oregon. Winner goes to the college football playoff.
or the Pac-12 championship.
No, I'm talking about in the Pac-12 championship.
Oh,
It'll
I
be
got you. Okay, my bad.
yep. What about Florida versus Florida State?
Always a good game. I don't care if old boy's gone. Florida State's always. It's not only an in-state rivalry, but it's ACC versus SEC.
Oh yeah.
Sign me up.
Who are
Granted,
you
I'll
going
take
with?
Florida. I'm going Florida. Florida State. You just lose your starting quarterback, and I think Florida State is right for the pick. And I haven't believed in Florida State all year.
That's crazy. Even after they beat LSU,
That's the only win they have, and that was 2 months ago.
Clemson doesn't.
Clemson's not Clemson. I don't carry weight like it used to.
Okay. They'll play Louisville, beat them.
Yep, if they beat Louisville, okay, I'm listening. But since LSU, they haven't had a win where you're like, all right, I see you.
Listen, I ain't gonna fold on the ACC. Not today. Give me Florida State. I like Florida
Okay.
State on this one. Here's a random one. I think we'll both like this one. I think we both like Texas versus Texas Tech.
Yes.
I do too. We both like Georgia over Georgia Tech. I assume.
Don't even watch it.
All right. Random one. Penn State versus Michigan State.
Michigan State is down bad. Don't watch that one either. And Penn State is pretty mad for losing to Michigan. Yeah. Don't watch that one. That's gonna be a slaughter.
Here we go. We both like Utah over Colorado. Think Coach Prime.
Yeah, he said some things today, and it sounds like, oh, yeah, it's not. I think he has the 63rd recruiting class, like ranked recruiting class right now. Yeah. And you and I
It's
know
not
the
really
transfer
far.
portal is the thing, but you just can't keep rebuilding your team through the transfer portal. Like you're gonna have to start growing your own players at some point. So yeah. Not to say that Dion's gonna fail, but I don't think it's going to be as sweet as we thought year two. Shador, declare for the draft, my man.
Damn. We just leave his daddy.
Here's the thing about Shador. Do you think in your heart do you believe that your father will be able to build a competent offensive line in one off season? Because he can't go through another season with all these sacks. Like at some point, it's going to take its toll.
It's
Now,
true.
granted, if he gets drafted by an NFL team, there's a really good chance he's going to get drafted high, and that NFL team not going to have a good offensive line either. But at least you're getting paid, and he's getting paid
True.
at Colorado. But NFL money, NIL money are two totally different things.
I like Utah, but I'm with you. I think it might be. It might be. I think it's going to be really tough sledding. But I actually think Coach Prime and staff will get a pretty good recruiting class in this by the end of this season. I think next year they'll be back. But this weekend I like Utah. What about the Iron Bowl? Bama versus Auburn. This one,
One,
it don't matter the
nothing
rankings.
matters.
You get in a close game regardless. I have seen
Yep,
some random events happen out of this Iron Bowl.
I
With
love
that
it.
being said, roll tide. Y'all know
See.
me. I bandwagon Ohio State. I bandwagon Bama. If they play each other, then I'm happy regardless.
Let's see where it's at this year.
I believe it's in Auburn.
Oh yeah. Yep. But they just lost 31-10 to New Mexico State. But like you said, none of that matters. None of it. That's
Give me
one of my
give
favorite
me
games to
Bama by
watch.
15.
Bam by 15. All right, I'll take that.
All right, here's another ACC versus SEC. Kentucky versus Louisville.
Give me Louisville. Kentucky has been very up and down this year. Give me Louisville.
Give me Kentucky. I think they're going to be tough in the
Really?
trenches. My guy Carter Gossett, my coworker, he's a big Kentucky guy. I think they're going to be really. I think they're going to just overpower them in the trenches in the running game. I like Kentucky.
Okay.
Um, Danny, last one. Well, second to last one. Random. I didn't even realize this was really a rivalry. Texas A&M versus LSU.
I had no idea either.
They just have.
A&M
I think
fired Jimbo. I don't care.
he's
Who
officially
cares?
fired.
Yeah, Jimbo was fired last week.
Oh yeah. 73
Jimbo's
million,
gone.
73 million. They figured they're gonna figure out a way.
Let me. Well, have you seen the price of oil recently? We back up, baby. Energy is back, baby. We got that money now.
No, okay. I guess you're right. Jimbo,
Hey,
go ahead.
Jimbo, go
Go ahead.
retire.
Nah, Jimbo, you know who to call. You don't want to call them, but you know when coaches need a place to recoup, they
Obama.
call them. They
I
call
don't
them.
know. He and Nick have had some real beef over the years. I don't know if Nick would welcome him.
Okay. Okay. Danny, one last one that feels a little personal between us.
Yes, it is.
It's the only thing that really we just got to draw a line in the sand and say we just can't agree
And we
on
never will.
this. Certain things I just don't understand. Why in the world somebody would want to support them?
And I can't understand why someone would want to cheer for them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the Commonwealth Cup. We're
Let's
talking
go.
about the University of Virginia versus Virginia Tech.
Let's
The
do it.
Cavaliers versus the Hokies. It always happens. We
Two
can
horrible teams. Let's put it like these teams are ass.
it's a mid off, but
Complete and mid off is being nice. Like what's a step below a mid off?
it's a mid off. We're don't hey what respect my team. We not bad.
Hey,
Y'all are bad.
we just beat
Listen,
Duke. We just beat Duke.
we got some good wins on our belt too.
And we
Listen,
almost beat Louisville until oh boy, he's still in Louisville. Speedy recovery. UVA gave Louisville. Listen,
listen, ladies and gentlemen. If you know the history between these two football programs, you know this is not normally competitive. I don't see it becoming competitive this weekend. I like Virginia Tech.
wahoo wah.
I like Virginia Tech by at least 2 touchdowns.
It's in Charlottesville.
I like Virginia Tech by 2 touchdowns.
The only thing I respect about Virginia Tech is Virginia Tech women's basketball. That is it.
Virginia Tech with a black quarterback. You know how we cooking.
UVA with a white quarterback that's probably at some frat house right now. Oh, he in his element. We good.
Danny, we can talk all we want, but there's still one game that's the game.
The
Lit-
game.
Literally, quite literally, it's the game.
This is the national championship.
It might be close to it. The Ohio State versus the University of Michigan. It's in the big house. Talk to
Can,
me.
can I say something about this? I know the Big Ten is usually contracted with Fox. This should not be the noon kickoff game. This should not be big noon. This
It
needs to
does
be.
because I gotta hear Gus Johnson on the ones and twos for this.
But Fox has put.
So if you
games.
anti Gus Johnson, you anti
No, 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 no.
Speak on it.
I love Gus Johnson. I'm saying put Gus
We
at
almost
8 o'clock. Put him prime time.
Nah, it's no fun. It's
I
gotta
don't
be.
like.
No,
Stop.
listen, this rivalry goes back so long that you need all your grandmamas and grandpapas there. It's on
I mean, but on the
Thanksgiving
West
week.
Coast, it's 9 a.m. Well, then make it the 3:30 game because
No.
Gus has done the 3:30 game before.
Nah, keep it at big noon. Listen, we got to get there. We got to get there. We got to get there. All right, you ready to talk a little NBA? Since behind me you'll see the NBA in-season tournament is going on.
A few housekeeping notes before though. Kyle gave reference to the cuckoo cachoo. He called you a. You said, "Did you call yourself a walrus?" Apparently, there's a Beatles song said, "I am the walrus," and one of the lines is "cuckoo cachoo." So, Kyle also is not only research; he is Shazam.
Kyle, you continue to amaze us with your efforts day in and day out for this show. Are we going to speak on the Grey Cup? I heard about the Grey Cup. Kyle, do you want to give the audience maybe a little bit more reference to the Grey Cup and the outcome? And we'll make sure we read it out. While Kyle's doing that, Danny, let's shift over to the NBA a little bit.
Let's do it.
You see behind me, the NBA in-season tournament is being played. I believe it is the Sixers and the Cavs. The Cavs are currently up 60-51.
Yep.
With about 30 seconds left in the first half. Let's speak to Group A because that's Group A in the in-season tournament for the East. The Pacers actually lead this group at 2-0. The Sixers are 2-1, currently losing. Pacers are the favorite to win this group.
Yep.
In Group B, we have the Bucks who lead this group. But the Heat are also there. Both teams are 2-0 in group play. Looks like ESPN likes the Bucks to win this group. And then, of course, in Group C, as you can imagine, the Celtics are leading this at 2-0. The Brooklyn Nets are behind them at 2-1. Overwhelmingly, ESPN likes the Celtics to win the group stage. So let's just say the current leaders hold, right? The Pacers, the Bucks, the Celtics in the group rounds. Who do you like from the East to get that final wild card spot? Sixers, Heat, Nets. What are you thinking?
So this is going to be a bit controversial, but I'm going to say the Nets only because their last two games. Hold on, their last game is against Toronto, compared to the Heat's last game is against Milwaukee, and the Sixers' last game is against Cleveland. Like out of those three, the Nets probably have a better chance of beating. It's not better, but it's probably a little bit easier. I want to say the Nets. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go with the Heat. Yeah, I know it's Milwaukee.
You like the Heat over the Sixers to get to the knockout stage.
This is hard. I've been thinking about this all day because the Sixers are on the road versus Cleveland. That's not an easy game. Miami has Milwaukee, but it's at home. I think that means something. And Brooklyn has to go to Toronto. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna stick to the Heat. I'm gonna stick with Heat. He's gonna get that last spot.
I think the Celtics are gonna win, but I think yeah, I think the Celtics are gonna win Group C. I think the Bucks are gonna win Group B, and I think the Pacers are gonna win Group A. So I'm going to be honest with you. I have the Sixers as the final spot. I think Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, they're finding the right gel. They're connecting. I think the way that they're playing in a Nick Nurse's system, I actually like. I like. I know they have probably the toughest remaining game. It sounded like of them, but I like the Sixers here.
Okay.
And in the West, Lakers lead Group A 3-0. Game tonight after this current game versus the Jazz. They win this game, they're locked into the next round.
Yep.
Um, Nuggets lead Group B over the Pelicans. ESPN's giving them like a 60% chance to advance past group stage for this one. And in Group C, T Wolves actually lead this one with the Kings also at 2-0. ESPN is giving the T Wolves a 75% chance to win the group stage, but they're also giving a 55% chance to the Kings to win it. Danny, talk to me. Let's just assume the current leaders hold, right? Between the Lakers, the Nuggets, and the T Wolves. Who do you see getting that final wild card spot in the West? The Kings, Pelicans, maybe the Suns, maybe the Thunder. What are you thinking?
I want to say the Thunder because the Thunder have been playing excellent basketball. I think they've won
The
5 in a row.
Thunder are really good.
Thunder are really good. Chet with the turnaround against Golden State. But if we're talking about schedule wise, the Suns' last game is, let's see, the Friday against Memphis. Memphis is just in the bottom of the barrel because points coming into play too, right? It's record,
Point
and then I think the point differential is the second tiebreaker, right, or the first tiebreaker.
I think it's after the wins and losses.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
points scored then, right? Yeah, so the Suns have an opportunity to blow the doors off Memphis and maybe grab that final spot. But I'm gonna go the Thunder, man. Like the Thunder. I know it's a little early in the season, but like the Thunder could be in the Western Conference Finals, and I don't think anyone would bat an eye at that.
yeah. I would say as I look at Group C, the Thunder have the highest point differential of them all. But I would say Kings are right there. Thunder is +9, Kings are +8, T Wolves are +5.
Okay,
Uh,
so that's a wash.
Spurs are -17.3, by the way. So it's
Just remember,
pretty
Spurs,
bad.
you are in a marathon. You got your centerpiece. Now you got to build around it.
While you mentioned that, before we continue to our next one, let's read Bam's notes. So Bam says the Montreal
Kyle,
Alouettes beat the. I mean, not Bam. I'm so sorry, Kyle. Kyle said the Montreal Alouettes beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 28-24. Cody Fajardo threw a TD pass to Tyson Philpott to take the lead with 13 seconds left in the game. This is Winnipeg's fourth straight Grey Cup, but now they have lost 2 in a row. So they have a dynasty that was denied, Kyle says. Montreal was a 10.5 point underdogs in the East Final and 8.5 underdogs in the Grey Cup itself. So it sounds like Winnipeg is in the gutter right now. They're going through it, trying to
they're the
figure out
Bills.
what can they do to finally clamp down. Thanks, Kyle, for that information. As always, you're the best research in the land. Danny, one last thing. What were we just talking about in regards to the NBA? We are talking about
The
the
Thunder and how good they are,
oh,
and Wimby and how bad the Spurs are.
are the Detroit Pistons in a deep dark place in NBA hell?
They've been in a deep dark place since that team beat the Lakers. They ain't been relevant since.
Listen, they shouldn't be this bad this long into a rebuild. This is a really
This
bad team.
there. I don't know what kind of rebuild this is. Like they got Cade, they have James Wiseman. Like Wiseman's not even playing, which is insane.
This not even Monty Williams' fault. This is a player's issue.
So what's wrong with the players?
They stink. Outside of Cade, they stink. This team stinks. Cade and maybe the young other rookie, maybe Asar Thompson. Outside of
Yes,
that, this is a bad team.
I mean they've
That's
been
my opinion.
bad. They've been bad. God, the last time the Pistons were good, I was in high school. I'm in my mid-30s.
All right, you're in your mid-30s. When was the last time you heard about an NBA team suing another NBA team for money and damages?
Never. Uh the Malice in the Palace. I don't think anyone sued the team for money and damages.
So what do you think is going on with the Knicks and the Raptors? Because I saw that and I was like, yo, this is petty. This is James Dolan trying to get a
I was
dollar.
about to say this is just James Dolan, and apparently I read today that James Dolan was the only owner that did not want the WNBA to expand into Golden State. So the WNBA announced that they're going to have a goal. The WNBA announced that the Warriors are going to have a WNBA affiliate. And apparently, James
Good.
Dolan was the only owner to shoot that down. That man has so much hate in his heart.
Listen, when he said
It's
when it
admirable,
he said when it come to some of y'all making money, you shouldn't be.
which
So
is crazy
he said he got to
because
hate.
he has the most valuable franchise that's not the Lakers. You think the Celtics are more valuable than the Knicks? I know the Lakers are. I think the Knicks might be the most valuable franchise in the NBA.
They probably are outside them and the Lakers. Listen, sometimes you just got to hate. And James Dolan said, "Why hate some days when you can hate every day?"
And I'll say this: you don't become a billionaire by not hating people.
True. See, you get it. What do you think about Zach Levine on his "Please Please Trade Me" tour?
How many times we've heard this story? What, the past 3 years? It feels like, but this time it's going to happen. He gonna be a Laker. Like, what are we doing here?
No,
He,
he don't need to be a Laker.
he gonna
The
be a
Lakers need to
Laker.
build and fix themselves internally. I don't think Zach Levine is that full answer.
Who trades for him then? Where does he go? He can't go to the Clippers because James Harden took that slot. Can he go to the Sixers? I don't know.
Apparently, the Charlotte Hornets have a
Oh,
lot of interest.
that is next level hell. Speaking of which, the NBA making LaMelo cover up the tattoo on his neck. Come on, man.
Corny. That's
That's
corny.
corny. That is hate.
What happened to the beautiful game that I love?
It's full of hate.
Okay. I think it's our favorite time.
Let's do it.
It's time for a little fantasy talk. It's funny. Rojo, Bam, they not here when I'm ready to, nah, I mean. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, this portion of the show is brought to you by the Commissioners Society of Fantasy and
Oh, that's a
also
cool name.
going for two live. So as you people know, I am the commissioner of a few leagues, one of them
Yep.
being our All Money in Dynasty Fantasy Football League. Last week, y'all heard me come up on here because I had to get some things off my chest in regards to Akili, aka known as Rojo. We got him the fuck out the paint. Y'all see him now running. He don't want to show up here. He just want to be quiet. It's okay. This week or this past week, hey, I went one-on-one with a guy who I know, and I've been telling y'all, I've had a master plan. Bam. I knew coming into the game that this was a really big week because I knew if I beat Bam, I could get the tiebreaker over him, one, and I could put him in a position to really make that consolation tournament. And Danny, we know how I feel about Bam and the consolation tournament, do we not?
Yep. We do. I mean,
And
it's
you already know what happened, Bam, because clearly, okay, nah,
no go into your W. This is your survival series promo.
nah, we got him. We got him. Hold on.
So while you do that, I
Hold on.
lost to Rojo. I lost to Akili.
Oh, then you can't be a part of this conversation.
I didn't want to be.
You can't join in on the slander tour.
All right.
Bam. You didn't think I wasn't gonna keep that same energy for you? You in the chat talking about, oh, you lost the first game and now you won this game and now you're just talking because you're four. I don't give a damn. You talked about the Las Vegas Horn Ducks, and I don't like it. Bam. Get ready for the consolation tournament, because guess what, buddy? If I'm going to hell, then I'm throwing you in gasoline draws and I'm bringing you down with me, buddy. You best believe it.
What's
And
the
when
sound
we
of the
get to
lost?
the consolation tournament, guess what? You're going to win it. You know why? Because you're the best of the worst. And I believed in it. And I didn't lie about it.
Can I
You
get the loss?
lied, Bam. You said you was a playoff team. You lied. You're going to win this consolation tournament. I have your first round pick. I'm going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. #1 overall. Then I'm going to go into the fucking third round and I'm going to draft like I've never drafted before. Oh, and guess what, Bam? You traded me back my second round pick. So even if I'm in the consolation tournament, I still got a top 4 second round pick. I win, you lose. Check my dinner records. Bam.
Can I get the Las Vegas horn duck noise?
Bam. They thought I was crazy. They called me a madman. I went to the school of GMing taught only by Howie Roseman.
That's right. That's right.
Y'all don't know. I know how to flip and trade. Now tell me my in-season moves don't look a little impressive because I'm only 2 games out of the playoffs. Well, really 1 game out of the playoffs, two games from being solidified deep in a playoff seeding spot. If this team makes the playoff, unequivocally this season's a win.
Good for
Tell
you.
me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. I lost a game I could have won. It's all right. We're the 7th seed. Top 6 get in, right?
Top 6 get in. I'm looking.
Yeah,
I'm there at 8. So I
I'm
kind of
there
need
at
you to
7.
lose. I'm not gonna hold you, but this is what I need now. It's a race. I asked my team, let's just continue to be competitive week in and week out, and we can see where we shake out. Look at it. The 3rd seed is 6-5. The 6th seed is 5-6. The 8th seed is 4-7.
Oh, it's anyone's game. Cal.
Horn Ducks might be one of the hottest teams in the league right now. They're starting to gel at the right time. What I tell y'all earlier, this is a team where I'm going to trade and figure out the lineup. And once I do, oh, buddy, it's just slight tweaks here, slight tweaks there. Hey, I'm not saying we're world beaters, but the Horn Ducks are a hard out for anybody.
You want to talk about Superflex? Or you want to talk about our redraft?
Honestly, we can talk a little bit about Superflex. I mostly wanted to talk about the Dynasty. I think that's kind of the one that the viewers have been keeping up with just because of Akili and Bam, and that's just kind of where we're at. I do want to get your thoughts on my roster as it stands, because we're in the last week of the trade deadline, Danny.
And this is for our Superflex. What's up, Gator J?
Sub Gator J. This is for our Dynasty League.
Okay.
Danny, we're in the last week before the trade deadline ends.
Yep.
Have you thought about any potential last-minute deals you may want to make?
Oh, I forgot you sent me a trade offer. I was not interested in that offer. My apologies. I thought I declined it.
I wasn't even talking about me. I was mostly just talking about it in general.
Yes and no. I like where the team is. There really isn't the things that I want. I am not going to get. I need a game changer. Like David Montgomery has been great, but I could use another elite pass catcher. Dallas Goedert's out with a broken arm. Like if I could get my hands on an elite pass catcher, and again, the people who have elite pass catchers are vying for a championship, so I'm not going to get that unless Kyle wants to talk to me about CD Lamb, which he does not. I think I'm okay right now. Like I'm comfortable. I have a couple second round picks. I have my first round pick. I think we can make something happen.
So you're feeling good about your chances, is what you're saying?
Yes and no. I feel good about a couple of positions. I need to improve. Like I said, if I have Devontae Smith as my primary pass catcher, if I had one more in the same, I thought it would be Quentin Johnson, but he's too busy dropping game-winning touchdown passes. I don't have much confidence in him. But yeah, if I had someone,
crazy because you drafted him, you used good draft capital for him.
I did. I thought Quentin Johnson would be a great compliment to Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, and he has disappointed. So, I mean, it's not over. Dalton Kincaid has done a little bit better than I thought he would. Again, he's been serviceable while Goddard is out. Charbonnet's coming on. Yeah, I just need another elite pass catcher beside Devontae. And Gator J, my chance is not zero. Y'all keep talking to me like I didn't sneak in last year and walk y'all.
Danny, so I could not interest you in Christian Watson.
No, I was not interested in Christian Watson.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in Christian Watson and you are listening in our Dynasty League, Christian Watson is available for trade. We at the Las Vegas Horn Ducks organization have decided to grant Christian Watson his ability to get traded. We are going to move forward with Romeo Dubs. So if you're interested in Christian Watson, please reach out. Going to be honest with you, at this point, we may be even selling low. Not too low though.
Kyle, I could be interested in T. Higgins.
Danny, do you want T. Higgins? Danny, how you feeling about that one?
You know,
Let me tell you about a bust that I have on my roster. Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, I have Tank Bigsby in another league, and it's been very disappointing.
I think I may be ready to release him to the world. I don't know if I see Tank Big. It would take a Travis Etienne real step back for Tank to have any sort of fantasy relevance. I don't know about you, but I do see a world where Tajay Spears next year really takes the reins in the backfield for Tennessee, by the way.
I could, yeah, Derrick Henry looks washed. I see, I hear you, Gator. I hear you.
And also, Trey Palmer might be a good wide receiver in the NFL going forward. Just want to throw that out there. If anyone is interested in Christian Watson again, I am selling low. So willing to listening to offers. You try to screw me over, you might get a stern cussing out too. But I am willing to sell low for Christian
You
Watson.
do know who? Can I vent for a second? Do you know who I'm very disappointed in? And I granted it's an amazing story, and I took a complete flyer on him. John Mechie. I thought John Mechie would be a little bit better. Granted, amazing story. He beat cancer.
I
He's
think
now on the NFL
I
roster.
just think the way that because I think he was drafted by the old regime, right?
He
Not
was. He's a speedster.
yeah.
He is.
And I think they had a plan. The old regime had a plan when they drafted him. I think it's I think
Oh, look who it is.
oh, Mr. Couldn't beat the Horn Ducks last week. Akili Rojo Truther. How's it going, Mr. Couldn't beat me last week, but now wants to come in here popping shit when he beats Danny. Thank you, by the way, because my team is fighting for a playoff spot. We appreciate that. I wish you would have brought Bam with you, Akili, because he missed the rant. Danny, how about this? In another football news, different type of football, the U.S. men's national team lost to Trinidad and Tobago yesterday. This is maybe the equivalent of watching Mike Malone and Nikola Jokic get ejected from a basketball game and still find a way to lose that game. Talking to you, Detroit. Y'all are in basketball hell. Akili, if you're interested in Christian Watson, I am willing to sell low. You too, Gator J. Maybe if you want a bench rider for depth. Dan, let me ask you something. How do you feel about the league probably adapting or adding a draft round in the coming years? So going to a four draft rookie draft. And how do you feel about the inclusion of a taxi squad?
I love the idea of a taxi squad. I'm all in on that. The fourth round, I mean, the taxi squad will help alleviate and justify the fourth round because I feel like if we had a fourth round, there'd be a lot of releases. I feel like the fourth round pick wouldn't mean much. They would just be traded and added as value because it wouldn't have much value.
You don't know. Four rounds, you might find some gems in that fourth round.
You might, but I if I had to pick between the two, I would take the taxi squad over a fourth round.
Well,
unless we change this into a super flex league, which I don't think we are.
We'll probably get both.
Yeah, thank you, Gator. Gator
Gator says
agrees.
fourth round is no value. Well, we'll vote on it. We'll vote on it at the owners' meeting. So we'll
Can we
get
have a
crank.
night? Can we have an owners meeting with like some brunch, some orange juice, some mimosas, some waffles, like the real owners meeting? Commissioner,
How's gonna get there?
I don't know. I was just
Yeah,
talking.
yeah, we know. All I had to do is bring a little logic into it, and then it's I know. Ladies and gentlemen, Danny, let the people know. Let the people know where to find you.
You can find me on the X app, formerly known as the Bird app, at Dandy Ocean 41. Oh, before we go, D, Thanksgiving is in 48 hours. Do you have any plans? Are you doing anything special?
Listen, I'm frying some chicken. I'm making some mac and cheese. I'll probably have a little stuffing. I have a little spinach, little cornbread. I'll
I didn't
probably
know
have a
you knew
little
how to
cake.
fry chicken. How you fry your chicken?
What you talking about? I'm gonna do it doing it the skillet.
Okay, like Big Mama used to do it. You gonna have
All
your
right.
the fat on the arm gonna be jangling like Big
Nah,
Mama?
I'm gonna crack that. I'm gonna crack that egg. Put that in one bowl. Put a little flour in another. Season that chicken, and get that thing flowing.
Okay, bone in, bone out.
Oh, bone out, bone out.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do that. A little mac and cheese. A little stuffing and gravy. A little cornbread. A little spinach for the greens. You know how I'm rocking.
Do you know whose
I
mac
want to
and
make some
cheese is
devil.
like
I want to
that?
make some deviled eggs, but
Oh,
oh,
that's
and
that's a
baked beans too.
that's a big that's a tall order.
I know.
Costco's mac and cheese, elite,
I'm making
elite.
my own. I'm making my own 4 cheese mac and cheese.
All right, you make a little roux, make a little
Uh,
cheese sauce.
a little cheese sauce. You know, what I mean, I'm working through something. Gator says deep frying chicken equals kicking Christian Watson to the curb. Yep. Listen, I'm selling him right now. I'm probably asking for like a 2020. What year is it? 2020. I'm asking for like a 2025 third round pick. That's the type of
Oh,
money
I'll
we're
do it for that. See, you asking for a second? I'll do it for a third. You wanna? I'll send
second
that.
or listen.
I'll send that right now.
Second or third, I'm somewhere in that area. I'm open to negotiations. I'm open, Danny. You're not hearing me. I'm open to
I'm
negotiations.
here. I heard you. I heard you loud and clear.
I'm open to negotiations. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow the pod at speak on it underscore pod. That is speak on it underscore pod. Make sure you follow myself at Los D Mix. That's LOSDEEMIX. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us. And similarly to Zach Wilson, before we let you all go for a happy Thanksgiving, I want to play y'all a little something that I have been listening to. It's an old throwback. But let me tell you something. This has been in my rotation heavy for the last couple days.
Okay.
Danny, I feel like you might appreciate this because my man who produced this, he is a Virginia's own. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you have a great Thanksgiving holiday. Make sure you tell your loved ones how much you appreciate them. Let me tell you something. We appreciate you guys so much being here week in and week out, listening to Danny and I's foolishness. He comes in here and lies about the Philadelphia Eagles. I come in here and lie about the Green Bay Packers. He's delusional about the Dallas Mavericks. I'm even more delusional about the LA Lakers. But we're here every week, and we couldn't have been more proud to bring you this week over week. Speak on it. Come on.
We appreciate you. Oh, some Neptunes. Y'all take it easy.